Okay, inshallah, everybody can hear me. Waiting on people to come in. Some of the sisters, a couple of sisters. Yes, I do. Thank you. You know it. Yeah, this is that's Twitch. I can see you. Y'all see that there? That's the Twitch. The Twitchers know what it looks like. It just has my name, Layla Nashiba. And I can use that today. Yeah. Since it's me talking. Wait a minute, what is this? Yeah. All right, everybody ready? Okay. Ina alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I'd like to welcome everybody to our class entitled The Sacred Bonds. The Sacred Bonds. This is the class whereas we're discussing marriage in Islam. And this is based on the book written by one of my students, Brother Daryl Abdullah Kirk. This book can be purchased at Amazon for only $13. So please go to Amazon.com. This book should be a part of every Muslim's library, especially those of you who are interested in getting married. Before you actually get married, you need to educate yourself as to what marriage entails, what constitutes a valid marriage contract, what are the roles and the rights of the husband, of the wife, of the children, what is the purpose of a family. All of that is covered in this book. And tonight we're going to be continuing our discussion. The last time we met, we went over the rights of the women as a wife and the rights of a man as a husband. Just to see how many of you can actually walk away from this remembering anything. First of all, who can tell me what are the conditions? Oh yeah, pop quiz. What are the conditions of a valid marriage contract? Who can answer that question?
A valid marriage contract is you have to get the person's guardian, the woman guardian, to get his permission for you to marry her. After you get his permission, the woman has to have a diary and then a marriage contract. And then after that, a walima. It has to be announced to the public that
no, her answers are completely wrong. She tried, but she didn't give the answer. Okay, I put it on his screen here so y'all can see. What are the conditions of a valid marriage contract? Who can answer that? Every one of y'all should know it, ma'am. I learned these conditions when I was 9 years old. If this will make it easier, there's 4 conditions. What are the conditions of a valid marriage contract? There's only 4. What are the conditions?
You have to have a guardian.
Okay, stop. Condition number 1. She said, conditions of a valid marriage contract. She said, number 1, there must be a wali. Why didn't you name that, Amina? Did you know that? You didn't say that. You said get permission from somebody. The first condition, there must be a wali. What's the second condition? Anyone?
There must be 2 witnesses.
There must be 2, what kind of witnesses? 2 women?
2 men.
2. So I want y'all to say male, because do y'all know that people are getting married with a woman as a witness now? You got to be specific. 2 male witnesses. If a person was going to use women, how many witnesses would it have to be if they were women? Okay, if
4.
exactly. Yeah. Yes, if you were going to use women, there'd have to be 4 witnesses. So if you're going to say 2, you got to emphasize male, because you got a lot of these children, especially from the Somali community. Oh yeah, running away from home, getting married, and they got their 2 best friends as their witnesses. Ridiculous. So number 1, there must be a guardian. Number 2, there must be 2 male witnesses. What's number 3? The third condition of a valid marriage contract.
A wedding feast to announce the marriage.
Okay. What do y'all say about her answer? Nobody, is anybody have any comments? She said a wedding feast to announce. What do y'all say about that? Did she give 2 conditions or 1?
And she gave 2.
2 conditions.
So that's 2 conditions. I want to know what's on the next condition. There must be a guardian. There must be 2 male. Well, we can't. Let me put it this way. Okay, let's go with it. That's the purpose. What she did was answered the question I was saving for after this. The wedding must be announced. And that's really the purpose of that walima. So can't nobody call it a secret wedding. I'll just put it there. Announced with walima. Okay, what's the one she left out? What's the 4th condition?
A dowry.
Okay, good job. It must be a dowry for the woman. Okay. Let me put some, I don't know how I'm doing this. Does that show up there? Let me see what this looks like. Okay, so there you go. What are the conditions of a valid marriage contract? Number 1, there must be a guardian. Number 2, there must be 2 male witnesses. Number 3, the wedding must be announced, and we do that with the walima. Number 4, there must be a dowry. These are the conditions that make the marriage valid. What about this? A person gets married, but they don't have their walima until a year later. Is that marriage valid? Since you guys combined that together, I'm going to ask it a different way. Say a woman and a man got married, but they did not have their walima until a year later. Is that marriage valid?
Yes, it's still valid.
Does anybody disagree? That's why we usually don't mix those 2 together. Believe it or not, a lot of people will think it's not valid because it wasn't a walima. That's why we don't mix them together. We just say announcement. So announcement. What I want you guys to remember is there must be a guardian. There must be 2 male witnesses. The marriage should be announced. Forget the walima. Walima is really just a party. It means party. Who cares about the party? Okay, it's got to be announced. And then number 4, the dowry. Some people don't have a walima until years later. Okay, but it's all about announcement. Okay, y'all write that down. Announcement. What about this? A man and a woman get married. A man marries a woman. She lives in San Diego. Okay, and she shares the news with everybody she knows. The masjid is aware, announces the wedding. The masjid announces the wedding at Juma. The imam announces that Sister Sabiha and Brother Sabi will be getting married tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Brother Sabi has 3 other wives. He doesn't tell them. Is her marriage valid? Why or why not?
Yes, the marriage is still valid because it was announced in that place that she was married.
Okay. Anybody disagree? The other wives don't know nothing about it. Is the marriage still valid?
Yes, because a man don't have to tell his other wife if he's getting married.
Is this considered a secret marriage?
No.
The fact that the man married this woman, it was announced in the masjid, but he did not tell his other wives. Can that woman claim to be a secret marriage?
No, she cannot. It's not a secret marriage.
Anybody disagree? Why the rest of y'all quiet? Even on YouTube, I ain't getting no answers. Is that a secret marriage?
No, I agree with Yasmin. It's not, because it was announced. They'll hear about it one day.
Yeah, a secret means it's not ever announced. Y'all understand that? Because a lot of you women will get on the phone and y'all will call Dr. Ibrahim Jamali, and you will accuse your husband of marrying you in secret because his other wives don't know. When that is you are not secret. Secret means exactly what the Webster's dictionary says. Secret means nobody on the earth knows about it. The simple fact that your marriage was announced somewhere, then you cannot call it a secret. Do you sisters who want attention understand that? I'm a woman. I know how you women crave to be seen and known. That ain't a secret marriage. If he announced it at the mosque, at any mosque, it's not a secret. Everybody got that? You sisters got it? So don't be calling Dr. Jamali saying that your husband married you in secret because he ain't flaunting you around his other wives and children. You got a problem. Okay? All right. Women are devious. If there was any creature that could outsmart Shaitan, the prophet said it would have been a woman. And I know that's true because I am a woman. All right? Okay, what about this? Does a man have to tell his wife that he married another woman? What about that?
No, he does not have to tell her.
No, he doesn't, because that's a right Allah gave him.
Exactly. Anybody disagree? Who told? Anybody got some dalil that I gotta tell my wife that I'm marrying another woman? Because you ain't going to find no Dalil to say that. But I can give you a lot of Dalil. Where the prophet and them companions took on wives. Ain't nobody got time to be telling nobody nothing. Nobody got time for that. Life goes on. Surah, surah. Especially if the woman acts ignorant. And I want y'all to understand that if the woman acts ignorant, what do I mean by that? That means you're going to find out he got another wife and you're going to threaten to take his kids from him. Oh, yeah. I'm going to leave you and I'm taking my children and I'm there. You want to throw a hissy fit and he know you're going to throw one. He ain't got to tell you nothing. He can preserve the peace. It's called keeping the peace. Oh, yes, hadiths on that. That's his job. He's the protector of the family. So rather than be threatened with his family being torn apart, he ain't got to tell you nothing. Nothing. Because that's his job to protect and preserve the family. He's supposed to know what's going to cause you to go off. So I ain't telling you. What you don't know don't hurt you. Okay? Those are the things we talked about the marriage contract that I want y'all to keep that in mind. All right? Remember that. Now, then we went over, once the marriage has been completed, the rights of the wife. What are the rights that every woman on this earth is entitled to as a wife? What are the rights of the wife?
One of them is she has the right to have her own house. So you cannot force her to live with, if you have other wives, you cannot force her to live with them, or you cannot force them to be with you.
What do y'all think about that? She gave one right. She said every woman has the right to her own home. Do you guys agree with that?
Yep, her own accommodation.
Exactly. Exactly. Every woman has the right to her own accommodations. So, can a man make me move in with his mother? Can my husband make me give up my apartment and move in with his mama?
No, validating her right.
Exactly. No, he can't do that. Can my husband make me or bring another woman into my home to live with me?
No.
Is there anything in Islam that says if you make it easy for your husband and move in, let him bring his other wife to live with you, that you're better than other women? Is there anything in Islam that states that a woman is, that if you give up your accommodations and move in with his co-wife, his other wife, to make it easy for him, you got more blessings than any other woman, or you're a better woman, or any of that? Is there anything in Islam that addresses anything like that?
No.
Is there?
No.
No! Because this is what I'm hearing. Some of these sisters are saying that they were told that because they sacrificed their own home, that they're women of piety. Who told you that? The same people that told you if you cover your face, you better than me? I'm sorry. You can burqa to hell freezes, you ain't better than me. There ain't nothing in Islam. Allah doesn't speak that way. Allah is not cruel like that. Our Lord is just. He's not cruel. Covering your face, covering your hands don't make you superior over anyone else. As Allah says, taqwa is in the heart, not in your clothing, not in your appearance, because you choose to wear a burqa or look like a cyclops with one eye. That's your business. Okay, that don't make you better than a woman or any other woman. And anyone that tells you because you gave up the right to have your own house, your own apartment, you're better than any other woman, they're telling you another lie. This is called brainwash, manipulate, destroy, break you. It's not your job as a woman to make it easier for him to do what he wants to do, to the point where you give up your rights. Allah is not cruel. Allah is not going to cause anyone to give up their rights. Okay? That's how you can tell a man is manipulating you, that a man is pulling game on you. He's being like Musaylama. Y'all heard about Musaylama. There's a lot of men that talk a good game. You women got to stop falling for the good game. You ain't going to be no better woman. You're going to be a worse woman. You're going to be broken. You're going to be miserable. You think you better than the prophet's wives? By the way, let me correct this too. The prophet's wives did not live in the same house. Anyone that told you that is a liar. I know we got a lot of Shiites around here. Okay? The prophet's wives had their own apartments. Every wife had her own apartment. You are not going to find no hadith on this planet that says the prophet's wives shared their homes with their co-wives. No, we're not LDS. And the prophet Muhammad was the best of men. He would never, ever even consider subjecting a woman to pain that way. That's a painful thing for a woman to see another woman with her man. Any man talking that crap to you is crap. Ask him, do he want to see you with another dude? Would he like you to move in with him and his brother and all the brothers at the mosque? That's against human nature. Don't get it twisted, women. I don't know what these brothers are telling y'all. Y'all better get it together. You ain't better than nobody. You are worse than everybody. And I feel sorry for you because you're subjected to a lot of pain and hurt unnecessarily that our prophet Muhammad would have never and never did subject any of his wives to. And he was the best husband. All right. So what other rights do a woman have besides accommodation?
She had a right to be protected, provided for, and maintained.
Exactly. She has the right to be protected, provided, and maintained. So, does that mean that I have to go out and get a job? Can my husband tell me that he wants me to go out and work?
Nope.
No, he cannot. Your husband cannot tell you that he needs you to get up and go out and get a job. You can look at him and say, excuse me, that ain't my job. It ain't my role. What about this? Your husband asks you to go out and get a job and you refuse. And then he tells you that you're supposed to obey him and you're supposed to please him. So go out and get it. Do you have to still go out and get it?
No.
And
No, because it's not your job to go out and work anyways.
But you supposed to obey me. Well, how would y'all respond? This is what the sisters here are texting me.
I would say I don't have to obey you and stuff that Allah told me that I don't have to do.
And this is a problem. And this is what we talked about. We only obey our husband in the things that Allah commanded us to obey him in. Allah did not command us to work. So you can't make me work. Prostitution is outlawed in Islam. Did y'all know that? And I want you women to use that line with your husbands. The sister here that texts me that, let your husband know prostitution was outlawed. You don't have to obey him and get a job doing anything. That's his role. And Islam teaches us that whenever a man or a woman cannot fulfill their role, divorce is good and clean. So you tell him either he go out and get a job, another job, or he can divorce you. But prostitution is haram. Don't no man prostitute no woman in Islam. And that's all that would be. You're going to make me work? You're going to threaten me? Well, brother, I'm not doing it. Prostitution is haram. I'll eat dirt. I'll live in a box in the street before I allow you to take any way of my rights away. You women better put your foot down. What about this? What other rights? The right to be provided and maintained. Can my husband come home and tell me, well, I've been providing and maintaining you for all these years. I think I want to live off the grid now. By the way, these are all real life scenarios. Wallahi, here the questions are. Can your husband come home and say to you, I want us to live off the grid. I don't want to pay the light bill anymore. I don't want to pay rent anymore. I am going to go out and buy a little house. And we're going to move into that little house. And we're going to put it off into the woods. And we're going to live off the grid. And we will go like they did in the olden days. We'll burn wood to cook with and stuff. Can my husband do that to me? Can he say that to you? Because he's the provider and maintainer. Can he do that? Real life question. Can he do that?
No, because even though he's the maintainer, provider, I still have the right to live a decent life, and that's not me living a decent life.
What do you guys think? Do y'all agree with her answer? What about you bros, you brothers? Y'all got a problem. Hello, Layla's here. Bring it. You brothers got a problem. Hubby, bro, man, you in here listening? Got a problem? What do you do if he tell you, or this is what he's going to do? He's buying a little house. They're going to put it up in the woods. He's living off the grid. Whether you like it or not, what options do you have as a woman?
The options that you have as a woman is that's rights for divorce. So yeah.
Exactly. Whenever and the brothers listening, yeah, you're welcome to come into the Zoom room. If you like, I can call Dr. Ibrahim Darmali if you prefer a man. But I can hold my own. You cannot force your wife and your children to live off the grid because you done had a breakdown. That's what it is. Let's talk about it. This has been a trying day here at Sunnahfollowers. Let's talk about it. Sounds to me, bro, that you done had a nervous breakdown. I know life can be stressful. We're living in some crazy times. COVID 3 years ago, still here. You got the war going on against Islam. Your boss is probably coming down on you. Life is kicking you. You're caving in. The bills are falling out the ceiling. Sister just had another baby. Baby need a new pair of shoes. And you feel like you're at your wit's end. So you found some little house. Oh, yeah. I watch HGTV. You got 3 babies. And you got a wife. You want to move them into that little house. Put it out in the woods. Not pay no bills because you having a nervous breakdown. I'm sorry. Wifey ain't got to go and she ain't got to take the kids. Wifey can help get you some help. But wifey can look at you and tell you, until you get it together, I'll be taking the kids and we'll be moving home to my mother and father. You brothers cannot force women to give up their rights because you are having a nervous breakdown or because you got it twisted. It's your job to provide and maintain her to the best of your ability. Y'all forget what Allah says, to the best of your ability. And if something happens where you can't do it, then that's a different topic. That's when we sit down and try to work it out together. Let's look at alternatives. But we ain't going to use an alternative living in no woods. How you going to raise 3 kids out in the woods? How those children going to go without running water, without hot water? Do you think your wife going to be boiling water and putting it in a bucket for the kids? Is that what you want for your children? You're supposed to want the best for your kids. So you better pull it together. If you need some mental help, there's mental health available. They got medication for that too. If you need some help, maybe she would volunteer to go out and work and let you stay home and nurse your sickness and the children. There's other things that can be worked off. But you cannot just sit there and come home and say, I've had enough with the world. The world is a terrible place, so we're going to go and isolate ourselves and live off the grid. No. You're violating her rights. She could divorce you. She could go home to her parents, or y'all can sit down and talk about it and work something else out. Maybe you need a break. And I'll give you a 6-month break. I'll take over work and just stay here and you do my job and I'll do yours for 6 months. But you can't just come home and make those type of decisions. Do you brothers understand that? And I hope you understand that, brother man. And I have to be harsh because I'm a female talking to a man. I can't sugarcoat and be nice to you. I'm trying to make you man up. Okay? Your wife got rights over you, and so do your children. And now that brings us to the next question. What rights do the husband have over the wife? Because Islam is a check and balance. Allah doesn't give too much power to anyone. What rights, as this brother is typing here, oh, you want to let yourself be known. That's good. He said, what rights do he have? Let's tell him his rights. What are the rights of the husband in Islam? That's a good question, bro. We getting ready to answer it. Let me type it here. What are the rights of the husband in Islam? Let's hear the rights of the husband, guys. And all the women get quiet because y'all don't know y'all husband's rights. Y'all been pampered and spoiled all your life. And
he has the right for you to not allow anyone into his house in his absence.
Oh, okay. The right to not allow anyone in his home without his permission. Good job. That's one of the rights you got, brother. And don't worry, I'm going to be writing them down. I'm typing it. What's the next right?
He has the right for you to not refuse his call in relationship.
He has the right to sex at his call and beckon. Okay, that's a big right. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get graphic, bro. What other right he got?
He has the right for you not to leave the house without his knowledge and permission.
He has the right to tell his wife not to leave the home. Good job. What other rights? See, you got rights, bro. Allah's rights are just and good. That's the difference. We make our own rules. Our rules are oppressive. Allah's rules are just. What's another right he has?
He has the right to be obeyed in only what Allah commanded him to be obeyed in. For us to obey him in, he has that right. And he also has the right to come home to a clean house and to be cooked, his meals to be
okay. Well, what categories that fall in? Wait a minute. He has the right to be obeyed in everything Allah said he had rights to. And what's the last one? Is she's given a long drawn out thing that can be put into one category. Also, what's his last right? What's it called? I mean, are you going into, it consists of that, but what do we say? It falls in that one category. The right for you to do what as a woman?
Protect his home.
Well, how do we say it? How does Allah say it in the Quran? He has the right to what? Come on, sisters, y'all don't do that evidently because y'all don't know how to say it.
The right to be obeyed?
No, we already did that.
No.
When Amina was
property in his absence.
Yeah, right. The right to guard in his absence. This is it. What he will have you guard. That's important, guys. That's real important. Why is that so important? Because that's the home, the children, the bank, the money, the bills getting paid, and everything else. So what are the rights of the husband? He has the right to not allow anyone in his home without his permission. He has the right to sex at his call and beckon. He has the right to tell his wife not to leave the home. He has the right to be obeyed in everything Allah said he had the right to be obeyed in. I got to put that there because he can't tell you to take off your hijab. He can't tell you to go out and get a job. Okay? Also, he has the right for you to guard in his absence. Whatever he would have you guard, that means the home, the children. It's your job as a woman to make sure the checks are written so the bills can get paid. Y'all understand that? It's his job to work. You understand that, brother? It's your job to go out and work. But if the rent didn't get paid, that falls on your wife. It's her job to make sure that the rent is paid on time, that the gas gets paid, that the lights get paid. Whatever credit cards you have, it's her job to make sure the credit cards are paid. Maybe that's why this brother here is so stressed out. I'm willing to bet you that you, sister, you are not doing your job as a wife. Your husband is on the brink of a breakdown, a nervous breakdown, Because not only is he working his behind off to keep you in a nice house, in a nice car, in a nice suburb, and to keep the kids in a nice school. Not only is he working his behind off to keep you with nice clothing, with the nice things in the house, and the kids with clothes, but he's the one responsible for making sure that the bills get paid. That's too much for a man. That ain't his job. It ain't his job to pay the bills, guys. It's your job. Are you paying his bills? Let's see what she got to say, bro. He said you hit it right on the nail, Layla. So you the one slacking, sister. You slacking. You put unnecessary duress on your husband. Y'all see why you don't got to pay no money to go to the CAFR court or the CAFR counseling? Layla Nashiba, the counselor. So it's your fault that your husband is on a brink because you are slacking up in your job. You didn't know. Do you think that ignorance is an excuse? How is it that you've been married for 10 years? You've been Muslim all your life, and you don't know what your husband's rights are? How is it you've been married 10 years? You've been Muslim all your life and you don't know what your rights and your obligations are? It's your job as a woman to write the checks. You put too much on your man. That's why your man is breaking. That's why your man wants to live off the grid. It was too much. He couldn't keep up with it. He couldn't keep up with the stress at the job. Didn't have to come home. I bet you he been cleaning and washing too. Hello, let's get real. Because you women ain't doing your jobs. You women ain't doing your jobs. You listening to these compassionate imams tell y'all that the man's supposed to clean and cook. Who told you that? Who said that? You put too much stress on your husband. You put too much pressure on him. So he's about to break. So now how do you correct this situation, sister? How do we correct this situation? The brother here is typing, Sister Layla, thank you. This is exactly what I'm going through.
Layla, can I say something?
No, stay out. You take care of your business.
Sorry.
Okay? How can you be Muslim all these years and married and not know what? I'm going to tell y'all something. Don't you know when the angel of death comes to take our soul, Allah only excuses us temporarily for not knowing stuff. When Allah comes and takes your soul, he's going to have the angels going to ask you, why didn't you know? Allah allowed you to live for 40 years. Allah allowed you to live for 40 years. And in those 40 years, you never thought to learn what your rights and your obligations are as a wife. You made it hard on your husband because all you had to do was make sure he typed here, the cars got repossessed. Okay, yeah, see? Counselor Layla, I'm a dyer. We know these things. He said both cars were repossessed. He forgot. He said he honestly forgot to pay the car notes. He said now he has no way to get to work. And while he's sitting there working and paying the bills, what you been doing? Hanging out on the internet? Or are you one of those sisters that's a social media influencer? Maybe you got a tutorial on how to tie a hijab. Maybe you got a cooking show that you do on YouTube. You put all this stress on him. And I bet you your children are not homeschooled. I bet you your kids go to public school. You kick the kids out so you can have more time to YouTube. He said that's exactly what's been going on. Okay, so how do we make this situation right? Allah tells you what to do. Yeah, you didn't know. Well, you know now, sister. Do you want to save your marriage? Do you want to save your marriage? Brother, do you still want to be married to Miss Didn't Know It? Then you do what Allah said do, the both of you. You sit down and try to work it out together. Try to work it out together. You can get on the telephone, brother, and talk to the repo. You can get your car back. I've been there. Oh, yeah. I went through some rough times when I was, how old was I, Latifah? 21. And I kept getting my car repossessed. Nadia had to get it out the impoundment for me. Been there. I was young and stupid. You guys are older. Y'all need to sit down. Okay? Now that you understand what your role is as a man, and now that she understands where her rights are and role is as a woman, y'all can sit down together and try to work this out. You can get on the phone and call the bill collectors. They will put you on a payment plan. I know, I've been there. I even filed bankruptcy before. Oh, I've been there. Oh, yeah, I used to be married. I ain't married now, but I was married a few times to a couple of knuckleheads that messed me up financially. Yeah, so y'all can sit down together. Get on the telephone, Missy. Get on the telephone, Missy, and make arrangements with the bill collectors. They'll put you on a payment plan to get caught back up. Call the car people. Go on a payment plan with them. They'll catch you up too. They even got credit forgiveness programs now. Oh, yeah. Credit forgiveness programs. And now that y'all know what your roles are, y'all can work together as a couple. Your husband work, but it's your job to take care of paying the bills. It's your job to clean the house. It's your job to cook the food. It's your job to teach the kids. It's your job to pick the kids up. What do you mean he had to pick the kids up? What have you been doing? This is disgraceful. He working, picking the kids up from school. What have you been doing? Sitting on social media. We women got to get it together. There's always cause and effect. But, you got children to think about. You don't throw in the towel with her, brother. She just was a numbskull. She didn't know no better. Work with her. Get some counseling. At the masjid. Most of the masjid, I don't know where y'all live at, but most of the masjids got counseling. They got these boards now. And on all the boards is some Muslim woman, who has a degree in psychology. Get some counseling and try to work it out for the sake of those children. Y'all got 3 children. The children need their mom and they need their dad. And you should be lucky, sister, because you married to a man that makes good money, that can provide for you. You got to help him. You don't sit up. You ain't no Kardashian. Who the heck you think you are? You better learn how to be an Amatullah. Okay. So those are the rights of the husband and wife. You welcome. The brother said, thank you, Sister Layla. You don't know what you've done. And the sister here says, I feel foolish and I'll get it together. Yeah, y'all can sit down. I don't know your background, but if y'all were born Muslim, get somebody from your family, sister, and he can get somebody from his family, since both of y'all were born Muslim, and y'all can sit down with your father and his father, and y'all can together work it out. That's what Islam teaches us to do. Divorce, don't even think about that. You got kids and y'all been together 10 years, And the problems that you're having are normal. Financial problems are what most couples have. So get your father, get his father, y'all sit down and just work it out. Go over again what your role is as a woman and what his role is, and y'all work as a team. A marriage is a partnership. And good men are hard to find, sweetheart. That's why Layla's single. If I get married, y'all know the man I'm marrying is the best. Okay? And good women are hard to find too, brother. So you got a good wife. She fears Allah. She just was stupid about her duties, like most American women are. All right. All right. So y'all two work it out. Y'all took up my class time, but I don't want y'all to leave yet. Because if you two got problems, I'd hate to imagine the problem that those cheering got, because that's what today's topic is about. Today's topic is about the rights of children. Oh, yeah. Allah, Islam is a check and balance. Islam is a check and balance, guys. Just like women have rights, just like men have rights, so do the children. And too bad that the children can't speak up. Because I bet you if the kids could speak up, they would be in here telling me all kind of stuff too. Okay? So let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. And by the way, guys, here it is. Wait a minute, hold on. Page is 62. Yeah, I just did the PowerPoint before class. We're covering pages 62. Why does it look like that? Pages 62 to 65. Pages 62 to 65 in the book. And this is the book. For those of you who have not yet bought the book, please get it, especially those of you who are young and looking to get married, or those of you who are elder and are about to get married. You want to go over what your rights are. So, Sacred Bonds. The book can be purchased on Amazon for only $13. And tonight we're covering the rights. Yeah, it turned into a counseling show. The rights of children, but that's the job of a daya. Yeah, I'm a daya. We have to be counselors and advisors too. And a woman can counsel as long as she behind her screen like I am, and as long as you got that Barbara Walters voice. Hello. I went to journalism school and we had to learn the Barbara Walters voice. All right, so there you go. Today we're going to talk about the rights of children because Islam is a check and balance. And Allah, his laws are better than man's because his laws are for the betterment of all. And let's take a look at this part of the book. And again, children, they have rights over their parents too. And some of the rights of our children come into play even before the children are born. For instance, the first right that the children have is to come from the womb of a virtuous woman and also to be seated. And I don't know why he didn't put this in here, but this is another right too, to be seated. Seated. Why do I mean by seated? Because we come from out of the back of your father. It's your father's sperm that fertilizes the egg. So the women have to be careful that she only marry men who are righteous. So that should be in the book too. So the children have the right to come from righteous parents. And that's something I want you young girls to think about. You young girls going out getting pregnant by Kaffir boys. You having sex out of wedlock. And you're bringing kids into this world that were seeded by people who don't believe in Allah. Right there, you denied your child of its right. Okay? You girls having babies out of wedlock. You've denied your child of the right to be born correctly too. So virtuous women and virtuous men, a virtuous mother, a virtuous father, that's the right that every child has. And remember, the Prophet Muhammad was speaking about how when men go looking for wives, instead of them looking at how good her character is, a lot of men marry women based on their beauty. Oh, she's beautiful. Or they'll marry a woman because she comes from a rich family. Or they'll marry her because her father was the governor. But the prophet said the best reason to marry is because of her religious commitment. And this hadith, there's also another hadith where the prophet said it, the same goes for a man too. You want to marry righteous men because, as Allah says in the Quran, righteous women are for righteous men. If you are not a righteous man, you ain't got no business asking for my hand in marriage. It's an insult for me. If a man is an innovator, you are an insult. How dare you ask to marry me? Okay? And then once the child is born, then the child has another right. And that right is to be brought up well, to be raised well. What does that mean? A nice environment. You don't raise your children in the ghetto. You don't house your children in the projects. Okay? And whenever the companions had a baby, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would chew a piece of a date and put it in the child's mouth. And that was something good. And we do that today as part of an aqiqah. Many of us do. And also another right that the children have is the right to a good name. And the most beloved names to Allah is Abdullah, Abdul Rahman, Amatullah. These are the most beloved names to Allah. So you want to make sure that you give your kids a good name. Don't make it a name that's too hard for them to live up to. For example, calling yourself Taqwa. How many of you know Muslims named Taqwa? That's not a name we should have. Taqwa means piety, fear of Allah, consciousness of Allah. That's a hard name to live up to. We shouldn't name our kids names like that. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told the companions, don't give your children names that are too hard for them to live up to. Okay? Who's the one getting drunk? Who's the one smoking weed? Taqwa. That doesn't even sound right. The one that's conscious of Allah, he's in the jail. He's in the crack house. So we don't give those type of names to our kids. Okay? And also, it's from the Sunnah. You don't have to do this, but you will find that there's different hadiths, some of them in Muslim and some of them in Muwatta, where the companions would announce the name of their child on the 7th day, when a child was 7 days old, but that's not a necessity. And also from the Sunnah. It's from the Sunnah to shave the child's head. This is what we call being part of the aqiqah, to shave the child's head on the 7th day and then donate the weight of it in charity. That's also a Sunnah. This is part of the aqiqah. Okay? And also as part of the aqiqah, it's from the Sunnah. Again, you don't have to, it's also from the Sunnah that the father sacrificed 2 sheep for a boy. But of course, if you can't afford 2 sheep, don't worry about it. Do 1. And if it's a girl, 1 sheep. And again, you know, it's based on what you can afford to do. And also, guys, circumcision. Our boys have to be circumcised. The girls do not. I repeat, all boys must be circumcised, but the girls do not. We have the hadith of Ibn Abbas where he said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you do circumcise a girl, then only take from the top, and that's it. But it's not mandatory to circumcise the girl, and those hadiths are in Sahih Muslim. Okay? Another right that our children have is the right to be educated. Educated about the religion first and foremost. And like I've been telling you, sisters, that falls on you women. That falls on you sisters, not the husband. It's his job to go out and work. It ain't his job to sit there and educate the kids. That's your job. That's why bro is over here stressing out. He been doing everything because sister is a social media influencer. Okay? That's your job. You better get off that internet, stop social media influencing, and instead influence your children. Homeschool your children. Like I've been saying all day, Muslim kids should not be in public school. I don't know why you Muslim women are putting your kids in public school. They need to be homeschooled. And we got free homeschooling programs. And they're all good. And your kids will actually get scholarships to college. Okay? Also, the children have the right to be taught good manners, good adab, good character. How many of you sisters are teaching your children good character, good manners? Today, most kids grow up disrespectful. They have no respect for elders. They talk back to their parents. I saw this one kid hit its parent. Oh, yeah. I was in the grocery store. The woman told the little kid no. The kid said, don't tell me no, and smacked that woman so hard. And she looked at us, and I was like, you better smack her back. But she didn't. It's our job to teach our children good manners. It's the woman's job to do the teaching. It's the man's job to make sure it's been getting done. You people understand that? Check and balance. It's your job as the woman, the wife, the mother to teach them. And then the father will come and check behind to make sure it's getting done. And it's his job to teach you, to make sure you're getting educated. And girls in particular need to be treated well, because the prophet said anyone that has a daughter, teaches her good manners, teaches her the deen, that daughter will be a ticket to paradise for him. All children have the right to be treated with dignity. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, fear Allah and treat your children fairly. What does that mean? That means don't favor one child over the other. Don't show favoritism, even if you love one child more than the other. Don't treat them all the same. Okay, because that's a right that every child has. The right to be loved, the right to be nurtured, the right to be given attention. Every child deserves that. And the parents should express their love through their words and their actions. Okay? Another right that the children have is the right to be protected. And this is what got me today when I did the Sunnahfollowers kids program today. What's the number one reason why the kids prefer homeschool over public school? They said protection, safety. It's your job as a parent to protect your children, keep them safe from harm. It's your job as a parent to provide a safe and secure environment for them, both physically and emotionally. How do you women and men think that you're giving your children safety and protection, putting them in public schools, when at least 4 or 5 times a year, A public school is being shot up. Elementary schools, junior high schools, kids are coming in, bringing guns, shooting everybody. Drugs are there, sex is there, bullying is there. You're not providing your kids with a safe environment, and Allah is going to ask you about that when you're in the grave. Why did you put your kids in public school when you knew that they were being bullied, that they were subjected to peer pressure? And it's also our job to protect them from social media. You should know what your kids are doing on this internet. You should keep them away from those harmful websites. Also, another right that the children have is to be taken care of physically. That means health. Every child should go to a doctor. It's your job as a parent to take your children to get vaccinated and get checked out physically on a regular basis to make sure that they're eating healthy foods and all of that. That's your job as a parent. And of course, education. Every child has the right to not only be educated spiritually, but also secularly. They need to learn how to read, how to write, math, science, arithmetic. Also, another right that the children have is the right to freedom of expression. They should be able to express their opinions with you, to express their feelings with you. They should be able to have their opinions heard. You should listen to them, be supportive of them. And also, the children have the right to be disciplined. That's important because this is something that we're not doing in the West. We're not disciplining our children. And because we're not disciplining our children are growing up messed up in this environment. So these are some of the rights that the children have. And what I'm going to do next week, I'm going to break down. We're going to go into each one of these categories and break them down individually. I'm going to explain what it means for each child to have the right that it has. All right, so I'm going to stop right here. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. And for the couple here, get you some help. I see that they typed here, Sister Layla, thank you so much. We sorry for taking up your time. No, you didn't take up our time. This was a learning lesson for everyone because the problems that you two are having are the same problems that other people are having. We hear this all the time, it's dire. But I hope that you two can sit down with your parents and together y'all can work out these problems. You shouldn't be living off the grid, brother, because that's going to expose your wife and children to a whole different environment that they ain't going to like. You're going to lose your kids to this dunya, and you're going to lose your wife to another man. So you don't want to do that. I'm just keeping it real. Another man. She'll divorce you. That's what I mean. And she'll get a man that can give her what she needs. Women don't play. Ain't no woman gonna go from a life like this to cooking on a forest, rubbing sticks together. Are you crazy? She ain't gonna go to that lifestyle. Are you crazy? You're gonna lose her. Yeah. All right. Okay, so you guys get in touch with a counselor in your community or sit down with your parents, the two of you, and y'all work this out because you got 3 kids. And there's always hope. We never lose hope. We never give up hope. All right. All right. So I'm going to stop right here. Please make sure everybody's here tomorrow for the classes. Don't forget we have my 6:30 class and we have my how to perform the prayer class tomorrow at 9:30. Okay. All right. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.